evening, all of you. I'm Ms. Apeksha More. Welcome you all to the last session of certificate course on Know How of Startup. A warm welcome to everyone for this collaborative session event between VS College of Pharmacy and Dr. L.H. Hiranandani College of Pharmacy. We are indeed privileged to have amongst us Dr. Arjun Bajwa as the resource person. Dr. Arjun Bajwa sir is the CTO and co-founder of KBCols Sciences Private Limited. He is an PhD graduate in bioprocess technology from the Institute of Chemical Technology, Mumbai. Arjun sir is the first generation entrepreneur with proven skill in the project management, research, and scale up of technologies. Arjun sir has won many national and international awards for his work and in vision making chemical sciences as a world leader in sustainable coloration space. Today, Sir is going to enlighten us upon funding opportunities for early stage startup. So, without further ado, I request Arjun Sir to take over the stage.
Thank you so much, Apeksha. First of all, I would like to thank VS College of Pharmacy for this opportunity to come and talk to the audience about funding opportunities that are available for early stage entrepreneurs. I'll briefly introduce myself and then I'll share a deck that will talk about all these things. I'm Arjun, co-founder of KBCols Sciences Private Limited. We are a deep tech startup based in Pune. Our startup is funded by grants by Government of India. We are also funded by top VC firms like Chirate Ventures, Axelor Ventures, Derby Foundation. So we have raised quite a funds for our space. The company basically works in natural colors, something that I'll show you. On a personal front, I have done my PhD from ICT Mumbai, UDCT Mumbai in Matunga. I finished my PhD in 2018 and post that we incorporated KBCols Sciences and went ahead. So I'll just share a deck with you and start talking about all these things that I want to share with you all today. Apeksha, is the deck visible?
Yes, sir. It's visible.
Yes. Thank you so much. So, good evening, everyone. I'm Arjun Singh Bajwa, co-founder of KBCols Sciences Private Limited. We are a deep tech startup based in Pune. Our facility is based in Bosari, Pune. And today I'd like to share some bit of our journey, some bit of what KBCols Sciences does, as well as how we were able to create those opportunities for ourselves so that I can share those learnings with you and maybe it can help you in your journey as you go forward. So initially in the first 3 or 4 slides, I would like to talk about the company, what the company does so that you're aware of the background. And then I'll start talking about the opportunities. So if you see KBCols Sciences, we incorporated that in 2018, thanks to grants from Government of India, something that I'll talk about. We got 2 grants, one in 2018, one in 2019. We established our R&D in Pune. We were initially based out of an incubator known as Venture Center NCL Pune. So we were based in NCL Pune. And post that, we were able to shift to our own facility last year. So that's a bit. The major focus area for the company is that we work with natural colors and their applications. So KBCols Sciences leverages microbial processes, microbial fermentation to produce these natural colors, which are water soluble. They are all non-GMO products. They are good applications, something that I'll show you in the coming slides. So in the nutshell, what the company does, well, colors are everywhere from the food you eat to the clothes you wear. And if you see colors right now, all come from chemical sources, which are derived from petroleum. And petroleum is a non-renewable resource. And it involves a lot of hazardous chemicals as well during the production process. So what KBCols does, We produce natural colors from microbial fermentation to produce final products like this. And this is just how our products look like, a drop-in solution to existing chemical colors. Uh, we actually use our colors across spectrums, but one of those exciting applications that we have built with our colors is actually textile dyeing and fashion technology. So if you see, there is a lot of debate about the hazardous effect of chemical colors in dyeing and all those things. So recently, we collaborated with a brand called Kasha, and we launched our first collection over here that was worn by models and showcased at Lakme Fashion Week, which is one of the premier fashion event in India. So this happened in March of 2022, where we collaborated with Kasha and showcased our first fashion show collection. By the way, this is also the first fashion show collection in the world which was built using microbial colors. So that's the uniqueness of the concept, that till now it's all been chemical colors or flower colors. But we as a startup were able to create the first collection of clothing line with our microbial colors. So I'll just share a brief about the journey, actually how we have built it, how we have started it, and from here I can then share the learnings of what we have seen in the last 4 years. So KBCols Sciences was incorporated in 2018. Like many of you over there, I was also a fresh PhD graduate in 2018, finished my PhD, and we had no idea what we wanted to do. There were job offers coming, there were opportunities for postdoc coming, so many things were coming our side. But both me and Vaishali, the other founder, we were sure that we wanted to uh, take forward this idea that we had of microbial colorants. So in 2018, we pitched to Government of India, BIRAC, which is an extension arm of biotechnology, Department of Biotechnology, and we were fortunate to get grant of 50 lakhs from them for setting up our R&D. In 2019, we did a lot of research in that 1 year, showed that what we were building is a successful product, and BIRAC then again supported us with the grant of 70 lakhs this time to actually scale up this technology and produce a minimum viable product. In 2020, we were fortunate to actually close our seed round with Chirate Ventures, one of the leading VC firms in India, Axelor Ventures, again one of the leading VC firms, and Derby Foundation in Bangalore. So in 2020, we actually were able to close this seed round, and in 2021 we moved into our own facility. So in 2018, our journey started in 200 square feet lab. In 2020, which was in a incubator. In 2021, we were able to move into our own facility, and this year we are actually expanding the team, facility, and new funds are being raised for us. So if I have to just summarize the evolution in one pick, I'll do that over here. This is the pick when we started in 2018, a 200 square feet lab, nothing with us. And in 2021, in 3 years' time, we were actually able to create our own space, which is a 2,000 square feet state of the art facility in Pune, Bosri. It contains most of the equipments that are used. We have been able to purchase everything of our own, build a state of the art facility where we do the production and the application part by ourselves now. So this is how the company has evolved from just 200 square feet, two people, to now 2,000 square feet, and we're more than 15 people now working in this idea. So now you're aware of the background that I'm coming from, what we've done. I'd like to share some of the learnings that I've gone through in the last 4 years in my entrepreneur journey. I'd like to share those with you, and maybe some of those learnings can help you as well take this forward. So I'd like to give first a brief introduction to the startup ecosystem. Today, India is the third largest startup ecosystem behind US and China. So there is actually a lot of growth that we've seen in the last 10 years in the startup ecosystem in India. The opportunities that are right now available in front of us are unprecedented. We are talking about 75,000 plus startups in India right now, and there has been greater than 30 billion USD of capital raised by these startups. It's actually way more, but this is the number I got for 2018-19. So in the last 3 years, we must have crossed above 50 billion USD. So that's the kind of opportunity that lies in front of us. What makes India special? It's the scale first. Imagine, I think mostly dealing with pharmacists. You're all from pharmacy college, so imagine healthcare as one of the sectors. A billion people. India has 1.3 billion people. A 1.3 billion people population need access to healthcare. How can we do it? We can only do it with technology, and that's the scale that people look for, and that's one of the things that makes India special. The other thing is the talent. I think we have so much talent in India that really makes this special. And the untapped opportunities. We are still a growing, developing economy. We have so many challenges that we can work on, solve on for the country. So that untapped opportunities are there. One of the examples in health tech I'll talk about is cancer detection. Early stage cancer detection is something that plagues, I think, most of the developed as well as developing nations. And if we can develop something using technology for that, that's something that is untapped till now. So these are some of the examples that makes India special for going forward and taking this entrepreneurship leap. I'll also spend a minute about talking to you where the distribution of these funds actually have happened. So if you look at the sector-wise distribution of firms, you will see majority of the money flows into fintech. Fintech is nothing but finance tech. So any firm related to finance, any firm related to financial applications, those gets into fintech. India still invests more over there, the VC firms and the angel investors, followed by SaaS. SaaS is software associated development firms and all that work on software things, software companies. So almost 70% of the money that is going into startups right now goes into these two sectors only. But the encouraging part for you would be the part of health tech. Health tech as a thing has also increased considerably. Today, you're talking about almost 20% of the deals happening in health tech sector. So many of you pharmacists over there, health tech, deep tech is one of those sectors that is gaining a lot of traction in the last 1 year. There are so many startups being funded in this space. Look at detection. I talked about cancer detection, but you can talk about other detections. You can talk about malarias. You can talk about other invasive diseases, non-invasive diseases, contagious diseases. COVID was a perfect example of how health tech or deep tech could really make a boom. So health tech and deep tech in the last 5 years has really picked up, and a lot of money is now going into health tech as well. And since majority of you are related to technology engineering background, I will spend most of my time in health tech as well. And then you have other sectors like ed tech, agri tech that do happen with it. So, if you're aware of the sectors in which the funding is happening, I'll also like to talk to you about the stages in which the funding happens. If you see on the y axis is the amount of money, and on the x axis is the stage of the investment that happens. What I'm about to talk to you about today is this area, the seed stage, which is basically about you have a concept, you have an idea, you want to go generate funding for it, you want to take funding and make that idea grow. So that is where I will be focusing my talk on today, the seed stage. But the company grows in this way. You have a seed stage, you have an angel investors, early stage, which is usually funded by VC firms. But do not be mistaken, VC firms also stage fund you on seed stage. So you have Chirate Ventures, which actually funded KBCols Sciences at the seed stage itself. So there is a lot of funding that's now happening by VC firms at seed stage as well. And then Series A, Series B, Series C. These are more related to scaling of the company. So over here, you're working on the idea, working on the product, getting the product market fit. This part is all about scaling. This is where you scale your product, you scale your solution to millions of people. And this is where you test your product and solution for the people. So now you've that seen the stages of startup funding, where the funding is going. Now I'll talk about the main part that I've been called for today, and that is opportunities that exist for early stage funding. Actually, to be frank, there are millions of opportunities, so many opportunities today. But from my experience, I'll share with you the opportunities that actually seed startups or deep tech startups can get in India. One of the first opportunities that I think you should go for first is grants. Now, government of India has so many grants and funds they have for that are specifically there for funding deep technology, health tech startups. So you have a Department of Biotechnology, BIRAC, having something like a big scheme, Biotech Ignition Grant, which is giving grant of 50 lakh rupees to startup entrepreneurs, fresh graduates like you as well, to go and develop an idea. This is a risk-free grant. You can take that and you can actually work on this idea too. Then you have Department of Science and Technology, which have many schemes, but I'll only talk about one of those schemes, Nidhi scheme, which can give you up to 10 lakhs, 20 lakhs, 30 lakhs for developing prototype of your idea. So there are many schemes. Startup India Fund is something as well, which actually gives grants and funding to early stage entrepreneurs. So the first thing I feel you should actually do is take out these grants and apply to them. That is the first foremost for early stage entrepreneurs. Once over this, there are now a lot of incubators and accelerators as well. So second is incubators and accelerators, which actually give funding. So there is something like a Google Launchpad. So you have Google, which has a scheme for early stage entrepreneurs. They do that. Y Combinator is one of the best accelerators in the world. They say if you get into Y Combinator, your company is successful there only. So you have such accelerator programs that can give you, let's say, 50 lakhs, 1 crores to actually test your idea and see if there is anything business worthy in your idea. In India, you will have incubators like IIT Bombay has, ICT Mumbai has, you have one in NCL Pune. These incubators also give you funding through different schemes, but you need to approach these incubators, tell them that I have this idea, and they can help you with funds to actually take this forward. So that's the second available funds for early stage entrepreneurs. Third available funding for early stage entrepreneurs is angel investment. So if you look at angel investment, it's usually done by high net worth individuals, CEO of companies, CTO of companies, CEO of Google puts money, CEO of Microsoft does angel investing. So it's usually done by people of high net worth individuals, and they do funding of early stage entrepreneurs. It's a very common thing now in India as well as abroad. So angel investment is one of those first funds that you can get. Many industrialists have their family offices. You can approach them as well. I'll talk about where you can actually get how much money you can get from them. That also I'll do in the coming part. The next one is about angel network and platforms. So you have Angel investors is one individual putting money into you. That's a risky business for them. So what they have done is that they can all get together and create a network. So let's say 50, 100 individuals of high net worth will come together and form a network, and they can actually fund you together then. So that helps them reduce their risk as well for the money. Perfect example for this is Indian Angel Network. So IAN is one of those angel network platforms that gives money for early stage funding. And the last one that is available now for early stage entrepreneurs is venture capitalists. So VC firms, you have Sequoia, you have Excel, you have Cherate Ventures who funded us, Axelor Ventures who have funded us. These VC capital firms also fund early stage entrepreneurs. And trust me, it's one of the best things that can happen to you because of the connects that they get. So they have so many connects that they can actually help you with. So if you are able to land a VC funding early on, that's one of the best things you can do. So these are the opportunities that are available. Now I'll talk about the funding that they usually give. If you look at government grants and funding, they can give you anywhere between 1 lakh to 50 lakhs. So if your idea is worth it, they can give you anywhere between 1 lakh to 50 lakh. DST, DBT, FICCI, there are so many funding agencies, government agencies that give these grants. The best part about these grants, ma- many of them can be equity free. So you don't need to give any equity or shares of your company. This is only an R&D grant. So if you're serious about entrepreneurship, if you want to test out related to pharmacy, deep tech, science, this is something that you should target first, which is government grants and funding. The second thing I talked about was accelerator program and incubator. They can give you anywhere between 10 lakhs to 1 crores. So they have incubators have many CSR funds, which is corporate social responsibility funds. They have other funds from Government of India, which they can distribute to startups, and that can range from 10 lakhs to 1 crore. But they might take, it's not guaranteed, they can take equity stake. So there are certain schemes in which incubators take equity stake or shares. There are certain schemes in which they do not. So it totally depends upon which scheme you are applying. Similarly, for accelerator programs, some do, some do not. We are a part of an accelerator program called Fashion for Good. Uh, they do not take any equity. So similarly, every accelerator program will have their own do's and don'ts. The next is angel investors. I talked about high net worth individuals, CEOs, CTOs of companies putting money into new startups, new technologies. They can put anywhere between 10 lakhs to 1 crore. They can actually go beyond 1 crore as well. But it totally depends on them. But angel investors, usually they will be in this range only. They don't like to go beyond this range. They will certainly take stake in your company. So if you're getting an angel investor onto the board, you should get one as well. Do not worry; they are not there to harass you. They actually guide you well, but they will certainly become a part of the company so that they have some bit of stake as well. The fourth one is angel networks. I talked about how angel investors take a lot of risk with personal money. If they all get together, that's a network that they create, and that helps them reduce them. So they usually put about 50 lakhs to 3 crores, and they will also certainly take equity stake as well. So 50 lakhs to 3 crores is what they look at angel networks. Indian Angel Network is one of those perfect examples. VC funding. VC funding is from 3 crores and above. So VC funding earlier did not used to take part in seed stage funding. They were like, we do not fund ideas. But in the last 5 to 10 years, they have started understanding that if they put money early into ideas, it can reap them a lot of benefits. So VCs, a lot of VCs and topmost VCs in the world are now actually putting money into seed stage or idea stage companies. I talk about Chirate Ventures. They have a Sonic program. You have Sequoia India, which has programs for seed stage funding. You have Excel India, which has programs for seed stage funding. So all those VCs have now programs dedicated for seed stage funding only. So now these are the opportunities and the amount of funding that you can actually get for your early stage ideas. So once I've talked about the funds that are available, where you can get them, once I've talked about the money that you can get from them, the quantum, I'd like to now share about what these government grants funds look for. So if you are applying to, let's say, BIRAC, if you're applying to DST, if you're applying to FICCI, what they look for in your idea. That's what I'm sharing in this slide. The first and the foremost that government grants will look for will be the innovation in your idea. So what's different? What's the USP in your idea? Government grants will usually not fund two companies in the same space. They do not do that. So if your idea is being done by someone else, which they have already funded, there is a very less chance that you can get those grants. You might still, if you can tell them how you differentiate from your competitor. But what they will look at will be novelty first, innovation and the technology and the novelty. So if you have that, I think you have a good chance of going towards government grants and funds. The next thing that they look at is team. Team is the most important thing whenever you want to build a company, a startup, because that defines your execution capability. Usually, if you talk to me, if you ask me, government grants will ask for some senior member on the team. But to be frank, it's not necessary to have one. So I will talk about this part when I talk about what VC funds for look for. But for the government grants, the team is very important. And if you have a senior member on the team, a professor or someone, an industrialist or someone, they do prefer that. And the last, what government grants look for is unmet need. So the nation has many challenges. India faces a lot of challenges. Those challenges can be environmental challenges. I'll share an example with you. I live in Delhi. Every winter, there is a lot of pollution that comes because of crop burning in Punjab, crop burning in Haryana, and that is something that they want to look at. So the nation, the challenges that the nation faces, the unmet need is one of the important criteria that government grants will look at. Cancer detection, early cancer detection, it's an unmet need that is not there. Detection of COVID when it came, it was an unmet need. Detection of other diseases. So these are all unmet needs that they really look at if you want to get for government grants and funds. So if you have these three criterias, my suggestion to you would be go ahead and apply to government grants of DBT, DST. You can actually get some equity free funds for taking your work forward. That was about what government grants look at. I will now like to share uh, after this what angel investors or VC funds look for. So I've talked about what government of India looks for, what government grants look for. I'll talk about what now VC funds, venture capitalists look for, or angel investor looks for in you. The first thing that they look for in your idea is the scale. So if you see what I talked about in the last slide, scale wasn't important for government. For investors, for VC funds, scale becomes the first thing. If your idea has a scale, they will most probably invest. If it does not have a scale, it just doesn't make any sense for them to invest into it. So angel investors, VC funds will look at scale. When I talk about scale, it's about how many multiples your business can grow. A small example is, let's say, how Grofers, Swiggy is scale for the VC firms. Swiggy is now ordered by millions of people. The transaction amount in each would be just 200 or 300 rupees. But that's being ordered by 10 million, 20 million, 30 million people in one day. So that is the scale they look at. How many people or what is the market that the business idea has? So that becomes important for them. The next that VC firms look at is execution capability or the team. So team is again important for them, and it's not necessary to have any senior members if you have very good, but they will be happy with a young team as well. But they should be able to see execution capability. So where you have worked before, what is your educational qualifications? Have you done any work like this before? Have you worked with startups before? Have you worked with any of these top companies before? They see that. So team becomes important for angel investors. Always remember one thing, uh, be it government grants, be it angel investors, VC funds, they bet on you. So they actually bet on the people. Early stage investment is all about people. If you are the right people, if you're the right person for that idea, if they feel that way, they will 99% put money into you. So early stage investment is all about people, nothing else. Of course, along with the scale of the company. The third that they look at is the technology and the innovation. Now, for them, what matters is intellectual property. So, VC or angel investors will fund two companies in similar space, not only two, but three, four, five companies in the same space. Because what they are looking at is whether your technology is different from your competitor and whether your innovation is different from your competitor and whether that technology and innovation can be create IP or not. If it can create IP, it is a go ahead for them. So these are three very important aspects. And if you have these three important aspects, angel investors, VC will mostly fund you. Another important aspect that has now come in the last 5 years, it wasn't there before, but it has come now. And if you can actually add that into your idea as well, you are a winner, and that is impact. So a lot of angel investors and VC in funds now see whether their portfolio company can create any impact. Impact can be environmental impact. So let's say if you're treating water, if you're reducing the waste load, if you are utilizing waste to create value, that is all impact. And that impact now matters to angel investors, VC funds. Because many of these angel investors, VC funds get money from US abroad where impact has really picked up. So impact is a very key criteria nowadays when people want to fund companies. So if you have, I think, three out of these four, you will get funding from angel investors early on in your company. Nothing to worry. But do also now work on impact part because that is something that is also important. So I've talked about what opportunities are there. I've talked about the money, the quantum that is available from different options. I've talked about what government grants or let's say what VC or angel investors look at. Now I'll talk about how to approach. To be frank, I think you must have had so many talks about how you should email them, call them, all those approaches. On my personal experience, what I like to share with you is participate in as many business and startup competitions that you can. I'll tell you the reason why. Many of these business startup competitions that are run by government of India, run by Google, run by other firms, top firms in the world, they are actually judged by angel investors, judged by VC firms. So if you are able to get an audience over there, these VC firms, angel investors, they see you and you get that visibility. So it's very important. If you have a new idea, just go ahead and pitch it. I'll share my own experience when we were building KBCols Sciences. I told you I finished my PhD in 2018, but from 2014 to 2018, Both I and Vaishali used to pitch this idea in different platforms, different business competitions, startup competitions. So I and Vishali used to pitch that idea to people, and that is the visibility that matters, because from there you will have a lot of angel investors coming to you. So my request would be, spend the second, third, fourth year of your graduation, post graduation, whatever you are doing, and participate in these business startup competitions that are done by many B schools. IIM does it, IIT does it, a lot of B schools do it. Participate in those, pitch your idea over there, and that will give you the necessary visibility. Second is network and referrals. I'll give you an example. We've been funded by Chirate Ventures. Uh, I work with Chirate. They told me that they get 100, 200 emails in a day. 100 and 200 emails in a day. It's not possible for people to screen them and get the best ideas. And many a times, because of the emails that they get, many good ideas can actually be left out. So if you have some networks, if you have some referrals, use that to get to them, because at least that will get you a chance to present your idea in front of angel investors or in front of, let's say, VC firms. So networking becomes important. Your alumni can be that network. Your friends can be that network. Your parents working in those industries can be a network. So utilize that, because it's very important. Directly email calling you may not get you the results that you're looking for. And participate in as many competitions as you can. It's very important. Even if you lose, it's okay, but participate over there. So that was all about my experience and what I wanted to share about the opportunities that are there, how you can leverage it, what kind of things are important for leveraging it. Now I'll just share a couple of slides on how this initial funding for deep tech startups, pharmacy startups can be important, technology startups. First and foremost, remember that these initial funds that you get, it might be 50 lakhs, 1 crore, 2 crore, 3 crore. This is just the start of your company's journey. Do not take it as the end that I've got 3 crores, that's it, I'm settled. This is just the start. So focus on building assets with that. When we got our first funding from BIRAC, big scheme, DBT, Department of Biotechnology, we utilized 40% of that grant in building assets. Assets means you buy equipments, you buy things that are important for the laboratory. So build assets in that. So focus your initial money, initial grants on that. With that initial money, also focus on the technology framework. When you pitch your idea, your technology will be different. When you start working with money on that idea, the technology evolves itself. So build on that technology framework as you go along. Create value for your company. There is a lot of talk about valuation of startups. Do not worry about valuation. It keeps going up and down. The only thing that matters right now is the value you create. So never worry about valuation, only worry about the value that you can create with your idea, with your startup. That is the utmost important thing. Remember, the business model, product development, they will keep changing. So once you're pitching to a, let's say, a VC, your business model might be different. Once you start working on your idea, 1 year down the line, the business model changes. So that's very okay. Be flexible in your approach. Nothing to worry. It will keep changing. The product keeps changing. The business model keeps changing. So all of it evolves, as we call it. And the last I'd like to share with you is, do not overpromise things. Many a times in excitement, we overpromise to grants, to Government of India, we overpromise to angel investors, we overpromise to VC firms. Don't do that. Manage expectations. What they are looking for is scale, but they do know that you will not reach scale in 1 year. So there is no need for you to tell them that I will touch 100 million in 1 year. Remember, do not overpromise, because that shows your character to them. So manage expectations, tell them what is feasible in this money, Be honest in your approach, and you might land up with what you want. So, in the end, I'd like to share my suggestions uh, with everyone. I haven't talked about pitch deck because that wasn't, I think that must have been covered in other sections of your how to create a pitch deck. But in your pitch deck, remember to keep a balance between technical and business aspects. I am a PhD graduate. Many a times I just used to get very excited with technology only. And my technology used to make no business sense at all. So that will be a no-no for VC firms, for angel investors. So keep a balance between technical and business aspects. You should be clear and concise while pitching, drafting your idea. So be clear what you want to pitch. Be concise about it. You don't need to talk about 30 minutes. You need to give your idea to them in 5 minutes. That's it. So be very concise while pitching and drafting. Build a strong team. Team is something that everyone looks for. So build a strong team, two friends, three friends, uh, whatever you want to work with, your brothers, your sisters, parents, anyone you want to work with. Build a strong team and stay together. That is very important. Many a times, what we've seen is that once the startup is incorporated, co-founders have a problem with each other and both part ways. That does not work well for many of these investor firms. They keep a lookout for that. So that is why they want a team that they know will stick together. Be open to suggestions because you will get many when you work on your idea. You will get hundreds of suggestions. Listen to them carefully. Implement the ones that you want to be. And if you don't feel like implementing, don't do that. But of course, let's be open to suggestions and be flexible in your approach. Don't be rigid that I want to do this only and I will do this way only. You need to show flexibility because that is very important when you pitch your idea. Next is believe in what you do. Early stage entrepreneurship is not easy. You will face thousands of challenges that are unprecedented. You will face thousands of challenges that you cannot even think of. You will get calls in the night, you will get calls early in the morning. You will have all those things. But perseverance is the key. So believe in what you do. That's very important. And last but not the least, I'll tell all of you take the plunge because every second of this entrepreneurship journey, the thrill it gives you, the satisfaction, the amount of happiness, sadness sometimes as well, it's unbelievable. You should once in your life take this plunge because every second of the journey is worth it. So that's something that I would also like to tell all of you that take that plunge. Do not worry about what will happen 6 months, 1 year down the line. Things will figure out themselves. What you need to do first is get working on the idea. Take that plunge. And remember, it's a journey that unfolds itself. In 2018, I showed you how we started with an empty 200 square feet lab. Today, we've reached 2,000 square feet. 15 people are working on this idea together. We are a very young and talented team that's building this idea of natural microbial colors. It's a journey that has unfolded itself. We were selected in Netherlands among global innovators. We were one among 9 innovators globally that got selected in Netherlands for our idea for a startup. We were part of that Fashion for Good Accelerator program. 2020, when the time was there for COVID, COVID had it. We were very fortunate to get actually seed funding from top VC firm Chirate Ventures, who participated by Axelor and others. So it has evolved for us from 2018 to 2020. And last year, we were also awarded by Government of India among the top 12 companies nationally, a National Technology Award for commercialization of indigenous technologies. So we were also one of those companies, top 12 nationally, that were awarded by Department of Science and Technology, Technology Development Board. So do not worry, it's a journey that will unfold itself. Things will happen, it will sort it out itself. In the end, I would like to say thank you. You can follow us on LinkedIn, KBCols Sciences. We do keep posting a lot about our updates, about funding opportunities, all those things that come about. So you can follow us there. You can visit us at KBCols Sciences. There is that email ID as well where you can write to me if you have any queries. And I also like to say if you don't have a dream, there is no way to make one come true. So do dream, do have that dream, and just get going and working on that dream. I'm sure everything will work out fine. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for briefing on the concept of startup, practical steps, and approaches for getting to the startup. Now, let's move forward with your interview questions. Our next question is, what is the difference between seed fund and call? So, the first question is, how to locate the different grants and call for the proposal from the state of governments?
Sorry, ma'am, your voice was breaking. Can you repeat the question?
Yes, sir, sure. How to locate the different grants and call for proposal from the state government?
Yeah. Uh, there are actually you can locate it on social media. So many of these DBT, DST, FICI grants are actually updated on social media. You can visit their website as well. Periodically keep checking it every month. So what happens is that many of these agencies have a fixed grant scheme that they launch every 6 months, 3 months, or 1 year. So it comes in a fixed periodic pattern. Keep visiting their websites. Every year they might have two calls. So I'll give you an example. BIRAC Big Grant, which is Biotechnology Ignition Grant, has two calls every year. So one call is in January and the other call is in August. So it is a fixed periodic pattern that they come up with. Similarly, you have DST schemes. They have a fixed pattern of calls coming every 6 months or 3 months. So keep checking periodically. Look out for social media, and sometimes you can get them in newspapers as well, where these schemes are advertised by these agencies.
Thank you so much, sir. Our next question is, if we have an idea which is service based, where capital investment are less, how to decide on the revenue model?
Okay. Revenue model will be something that is,
Hello, sir. Am I audible?
yeah, you're audible. Uh, I'll be honest with you. Majority of startup grants, or let's say initial angel investment, will not be very excited about service based models. So service based ideas are usually not very exciting to VC firms, or it can only be exciting if they see a big enough scale coming in. So if you have a big scale, that can be exciting to angel investors. But how do you decide on the revenue model? Uh, Even if investment is low, that is perfectly fine. You will get that investment from angel investors, but the revenue model should be able to show them scale. So you should actually be able to show them that in the first year, if I am selling my service, my profit from that service will be, let's say, 5% or 10%. In the second year, I will increase the margin to, let's say, 15%. In the third year, when that service is well established, I will increase my margin to 25-30%. So that is what they're looking at as to how you can plan your growth journey over the years. Investment less or investment more is completely okay for them, but how you're able to show the scaling of the company, the revenue model, becomes very important for them.
Thank you, sir. Next question is, what is the difference between seed fund and angel investment?
Okay. uh, Actually, seed fund uh, is a broader term. Seed fund can be taken from friends, can be taken from families can be taken from BIRAC, government agencies can be taken from VC or angel investors. Angel investment is a term which basically describes taking money from a high network or high net worth individual. So that is the basic difference between a seed fund, which can come from variety of sources, and an angel investment, which will usually come from one of the angel investors, or let's say an angel networking platform. But the stage for the funding will be seed in both the cases. So angel investors give you seed fund as well, and others is also known as seed fund.
Network issue. Thank you, sir. Now I request
Yeah.
Dr. Mustaq Sheikh, sir, President, ask a
Good evening, everyone. I hope I am audible.
Yes, sir, you're audible.
Thank you very much, sir. Uh, it was a very nice session, actually, student. And these days, now we have jumped from innovation as a buzzword to start up the next buzzword. And nevertheless, I should also confirm that this is not even a buzzword. We are ranking high in the terms of every year the number of startup our country is filing for, and it is because of the prevailing knowledge and people getting expertise and sharing like this platform today. Mr. Arjun Singh Bajwa sir has done it. So I'm really glad to. I could not attend it for whole the time, but few points which I noted down at the end was very fruitful. Like he informed about government funding. The government has kept lot of funds. Day before yesterday, I guess in last week Monday, I was attending one workshop and I was told that government has kept 10,000 crore of rupees for funding to startup. And one more point sir made. I don't know if you have listened carefully that social media. There are certain social media which are available only for the purpose of startup. I could not recall the name, but I remember that one social media. And there is a startup for this only to build a social media for startups. So you can get a lot of information there. Surely, sir has mentioned few of them. Uh, if you have not heard it carefully, you can go back because this video is going to be there on our website. I mean, in the last 4 to 5 years, I've been, a president of IS, and I've been hearing so many workshops. But few points were very typical, or I'll say noteworthy, which sir has said that since now people are going ahead with startup, right? It would happen that a good idea will be lost, and personally following up the idea with the agency, that is really a nice thing sir has shared. And being concise, not putting too much of technology, it sometimes bores some people. Of course it has, everything has to be balanced, right? So these are very nice things, sir. I have myself noted it down, and hopefully whenever our incubation center at VS College of Commerce start functional, these few points will definitely take care of. uh, so now we are coming to the very interesting certificate course on how to start up. This was day three, I suppose. So people must have enjoyed it a lot. And of course, any simple session, right, does not work in solitude. Okay, a team is involved. Resource person team is involved, right? So I will start today from today's resource person, Mr. Arjun Singh, that he has presented in a very kind of friendly manner. Okay, sometimes this information could be very dry, but he has made it very, I could say, uh, perceptive. I mean, people will catch it up very easily in a very simple language, right? So people must have uh, definitely benefited, and since video is going to be there, even then in future they'll be benefited. Thank you very much, Ajay ji, for coming down, all the taking time out of your busy schedule and being here with us today this evening. I will extend my thanks to the IIC teams of both these institute, I mean LS Shinranjani College of Pharmacy and VS College of Pharmacy. So Mrs. Shraddha Phadke, and from our institute, majorly lead was taken by Dr. Anita Aire for this entire certificate course. And of course, we are motivated by our leaders. So I will thank you and congratulate both the principal, Professor Gide sir and Professor Supriya Shidai madam from BISCOP, from NH Indani and BISCOP respectively. Uh, Student teams, they have been really awakened and doing their jobs well. Okay, and I suppose for some of you it will be first time to be present on social media, but this is the future. Uh, and you have done your job very well. I would also thank and congratulate the uh, ICT team who had been really behind the show, being backstage and managing all the things. Okay, keeping alert like this transition just now happened. I have witnessed it. Okay, in a very fluid manner, right? And last but not least, thanks and again congratulations for all the participants of this event, right? I am very sure you all have benefited very well and noted down each point, important point, and wish you all the best for the future to set up your own startup. Maybe we have shared you a little things you can develop on this. A lot of information is yet to be there, and a lot of information is available on World Wide Web. If you are really thinking of to go ahead with the startup, you can reach out to either of the ICs, and definitely we can help you to meet right mentors. We can help you to reach out to right incubation center, and we can help you to get your startup ahead. So with this note, I would like to thank everybody present over here and whosoever will be watching these videos in future. Thank you very much. Have a great day. Over to the moderator.
Few announcement for the participant. E-certificate will be provided to all of you after successful submission of feedback form. We have an upcoming workshop on research expo and exhibition. Stay tuned for social media handles to get update about the same. Do subscribe to our YouTube channel. Stay safe, stay healthy. Until next time. Goodbye. Thank you.